My name is Ro. So I graduated this year in May, and I graduated with BSc Environmental Sciences and a year in industry. So I started university with quite bad depression and anxiety, and over the university experience, things kind of fluctuated. So they got to really low points, and I worked really hard with a therapist to get to a point where I am today, where I can balance things and I can cope with things really well. But another thing that was kind of underlying this was actually autism. So I have my older sister is autistic, and we've known that for a very long time. But we had no idea about my autism too, because I have a very good job of covering it up when I need to. And so recently, this year, I have reached out to the university support services and I've received a diagnosis of autism. And so I'm currently in the stage of understanding what autism means to me, how I go about engaging that in everyday life, and also reflecting back on my university experience and understanding what needs to be done to facilitate an autistic's experience of university. I think one of the things I was most frightened about when enrolling for my jobs was actually how the companies would cope with my diversities. Because to lots of people, mental health, autism, it can all be really scary if you don't understand it, if you've not had experience with it before. My biggest worry was that employers would look at that and go, that's too much for me to handle. And so that was the biggest thing for me that I was frightened of. I had quite a long chat with Career Central to understand how to approach that, how to bring that up in conversation, because I do need support with autism at work in terms of getting some rest breaks, getting some breathers from work, asking lots of extra questions to make sure I understand things. And I've received some excellent advice from Career Central. And essentially they outlined it's up to you, it's your disability. So it's completely up to you when you bring that up. I chose to bring it up after the interview process because I did not want to have that affect my chance of getting a position, because jobs are quite slim at the moment. And then once I was lucky enough to be successful in those jobs, I reached out with my employer straight after the interview, explained in a very brief email, this is what I have, this is how it affects my day-to-day life. Can we have a meeting on first day of employment to outline what extra support I need? I've received those meetings and I am currently receiving support from employers. But my top tip to you would be to understand what you need first, and to understand how your disability affects you in a working environment. And then from there, you can choose when to breach your disability to the employer, depending on the level of support you might need, depending on how comfortable you feel bringing it up. So another big struggle for me, so both my jobs are office-based, and I, being autistic and also having ADHD, I find it really difficult to sit still for a very long time, and I find it very difficult to keep focused. So I found having a meeting on with my employer very early days to outline my struggles was really important to helping me cope with work. And actually from that, I've been able to have a flexible working schedule, so I can start and finish when I want, but as long as I make up my hourly, my contracted hours. But then also I have the option to work from home. So on the days in which I maybe need a little bit more stimulation, something to help me keep engaged, I can work from home. I can have all my music on. I can kind of get up and move around when I need to. So I do think that's really important for you to understand what you need from work. Maybe have a chat with Career Central if you're not too sure. And then reach out to your employer. In terms of top tips that I can give you to stand out from the crowd, it's completely up to you how much you disclose of your disability. So for me, I've always tried my best to be loud and proud about it, because I think if you can produce a platform where you say, hey, look at me, look at where I'm going, despite, and actually, in fact, of having my disability. And it can kind of inspire the people. It can help employers to kind of overcome any stigma they have around your disability. So I would encourage you to be as loud and proud as possible if that's something that you're comfortable with. And I would also encourage you to not only look at, obviously, what support you might need for your disability, but also what that allows you to do, what points of view that might help you to see differently. So for me, for my autism, that means that I can see things from a very different point of view, which usually means I can engage a lot more creatively in team meetings. For example, I will bring in ideas from very different points of view. Because I work in event management, I can also bring in kind of a disabled person's point of view. In terms of events, I can help promote kind of better accessibility and understanding people's kind of sensory needs. So I think it's really important for you to also celebrate your disability and to highlight to the employers what the perks of it. Even whatever kind of disability you have, highlight that you have different diversities because of it, and actually that allows you to engage with different audiences, to engage in team meetings for a different way, to bring a better workplace environment about, to make other disabled employees feel welcome and accompanied for. So highlight your positives too.